Welcome back on the Joseph Curry Show. The Indy 500 begins on August 23rd. Unfortunately, there will be no fans watching, you know, up there in Indianapolis. They will be watching on TV. No fans in Indy 500 this year. There were just the race cars and race drivers and the crews are going to be joined. 500-mile race, 200 laps. It's going to be awesome to watch. But I'm not worried about it, but they said, now what I just said about Washington made an announcement today. The fans will not be allowed to watch the Indy 500 Sunday, August 23rd. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway because the whole stuff. I mean, it's been 103 years. It's been 100 for 3 years. Now it's 104 years now. They will not be watching the Indy 500 because the whole stuff's still going on. Just continue now. Washington Penson has reversed course and decided not to allow fans at the Indianapolis 500 there this month. The 104, the 104th running of the greatest spectacles in racing will be the fans without spectators. Fans have showed up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway every year during ever. Now, fans have showed up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway every year, even during the Great Despair. It was a flip for Penske, who purchased the Oncon Speedway in January and has spent every day since upgrading his new showplace to prepare for his favorite race. The pandemic forced the race to change dates for the first time from Memorial Day weekend to August 23rd. Penske had interest in saying he wouldn't run the 500 without fans, but as the pandemic continues to spread across the nation, the decision was made into the limit of capital to 50. The Speedway then lowered the number to 25% and presented an 88-page memorandum on how to safety post-battles. Cases have continued to rise, steady in Indiana, and especially in Multnomah County, where the Speedway is located. And Piskin told the Association Press on Tuesday the reverse of the speculation policy was the toughest business decision I ever made in my life. We didn't buy the Speedway for 1 year, we bought it for generations to come, and it's important to our reputation to do the right thing. Penske said in a telephone interview. He said the financial reputation of not hosting spectators was even at 25% capability. The Marmont factory could have held about 80,000 people, playing no part in his decision. Rather, the continuing increase of COVID-19 cases in Baltimore County made shutting out spectators the responsibility decision. We need to be safe and smart about this, Penske said. Obviously, we want full attendance, but we don't want to jeopardize the health and safety of our fans and the community. We also don't want to jeopardize the ability of our successful race. As part of the plan introduced 2 weeks ago for 25% of fan capability, spectators would have purchased badges that guaranteed them access to the garage, and pit lane was going to be permitted, as well as in-field access. Although the speedway, which can hold at least 350,000 spectators, has the space for social distancing, Pittsburgh did not want to put fans on compeller at risk. The situation was compounded last week when IU Health, the state's largest healthcare system, and the partner of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, said proposing fans attending the 500 until we sustain better control of this virus and spread. IU Health said in a statement, Restoring encourages IMS to consider it opportunity to win the 500 with fans in August. The letter blindside Speedway officials who have worked with health officials on the comprehensive safety plan that include mandatory wear a mask at all times inside the Speedway. IU Health said it appreciates the Speedway safety plan, but risk remains too high to host a large costume with fans. We have concern about the risk of infection beyond the scope of the IMS plan, including social gathering, travel, res- restaurants, bars, alcoholism, and other events-related activities. IU have said this could lead to a spike in COVID-19 infections as we continue to see cases and hospitalizations increase each every day. Princeton said the IU have now was disappointing, but did not force his hand. Instead, simply came down to matters of how the coronavirus is spreading to Indiana. The number of cases in Baltimore County has tripled while the positive rate has doubled. We said from the beginning of the pandemic, we will put the health and safety of our community first, and while hosting spectators at the limit capacity with our rebuild plan, its place was in person in late June. It is not the right path forward based on the current environment. Speedway said in a statement, the first late incident that Penske's group was referred came Monday when the Speedway confirmed to the AP that the opening day of practice scheduled for next Tuesday has been scrapped. The first day of practice will now be August 12th. The only other changes to the schedule right now is the elimination of the pit crew competitor tradition held on Crap Day, 2 days before the race. So, as we skip for this one, he said, and he said the place looked even 50% better than it did in July. It shows that the IndyCar Conqueror will be able to get a closer look at the upgrades when the track opens next week. As for fans, and he said, look, this is a long-term investment for us for many generations to come, he said. We will continue to improve the speedway. The competitors will get to see it over the next 2 weeks, and we believe that this decision now regards the 500 in the best interest of protecting the 500 for the future. So that's what he says. That's what Watson Penson said that the fans can turn. But I don't think the fans will be allowed to see the race because what it has helped been through it a lot, and that's another for Watson Penske and the Indian 500 scene. But for us, I'm really not sure. I don't know for sure, and I don't think so. What if we see the fans in Indy? I doubt it. Last week, and now I decided not to see fans 500. Fans the 500 for sure. That's the no. That's means concern. But now you have to. But when you go outside, you have to wear a mask every time you go out. Every time you go out and fishing, and all you have to do is all that fun stuff. It is fun stuff. Concern. This is 2020. This is 2020 we're talking about. And yeah, that's for sure. It is for sure. But we'll see what happens. Till then, I'm Jessica. I see you tomorrow. Hopefully.